YouTube, Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with something different, but y'all know if y'all been a long time member of this channel, I do the Summer League analysis. I was at Summer League and there was some players, especially lottery picks, that caught my interest. And as you know, I thought that the Clippers would pick up Kevin Knox. I thought that would be a steal for Jerry West and the Doc Rivers, especially because they needed a wing, especially young at 18, about to turn 19. But this is just going to be a video about what I seen, what I think, and I'm going to wrap it up in the end with my final thoughts about Kevin Knox and his future, his rookie sophomore year, and what he can possibly be for the New York Knicks and what he can do now with Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway, and those guys already on the roster. So as I let all y'all know what's going to happen, we're going to go through some couple clips, and then we're going to get a webcam at the end to give you my final thoughts. First, let's talk about his finishing. This guy has the ability to be very special at this area with his size and length. So his ability to create off the dribble is still a little shaky now. He doesn't have the body, doesn't really know how heavy and strong people will be until he actually plays in the NBA. But I like that. He keeps the ball ahead of him. He attacks the teeth of the defense. He likes to go downhill to use that length and that size and that athleticism because he can get that first step and he's basically at the rim because he's so tall and lanky. And he has that size and that's a wingspan to where he can finish over defenders and cradle the ball, double extension it every once in a while. He also have the athletic ability to take off. As you just seen, he can fly towards that rim even in transition. And he can get up there. And you just seen right here too, smaller defenders on him or in the paint when they switch, he can just fly right over them and dunk it. Also, we call it galloping. He gets a head start and he can get to that rim and finish with either hand and just flat out obliterate that rim. If you're not going to foul him or you're not quick enough to get back or contest, it's basically a wrap at that end of the court in transition. Kind of remind me of LeBron and KD a little bit. As you see, they get the pass, he takes off running, and you basically done if you don't get in front of him or foul him before he leaves. He can be a great transition player. I'll talk about that at the end. Another thing is his pull-ups and coming off screens. He had a shaky little bit at Kentucky, and I feel like he's going to have troubles with coming through screens. And then the fact that he came out of college, he ain't used to the heavy minutes and the physicality of the game. I could see him not being a great mid-range scorer right away, but also his length and size with his three-point shooting. Got a good extension on it, good rotation, good fundamentals. It's just he got to get used to the three-point length, and he got to get used to creating his own shot a little bit. It's not going to all come this easy. He got more lankier, bigger defenders that's going to be guarding him in the NBA. So he's definitely going to have to release that ball a little quicker and get rid of it just to have, as you see, a lot of these guys are covering a lot of space in Summer League. So he definitely got to stay focusing on that, focus on his rotations, and, you know, even work on that corner three and that spot up three. He didn't hit it consistently enough to where I was happy at his attempts that he's going to be taking in New York. But he's going to be very good at that area. I feel like this is going to be tough as he gets to play better players, but he still showed the ability in Summer League to knock down threes, and even like you see right here, the pull-up three, get the little space pull-up three. But he's going to be going against taller, bigger guys and fighting through screens a lot. I wonder if he's going to have the lift and the energy through high minutes games to continue to knock down those shots. Another thing he said, he wants to be able to play in the pick and roll and be a decision maker. That's basically all the wings are kind of like a hybrid of a guard where they want to make plays in transition like you see right here, or they want to come off the pick and roll, find shooters, or even just get to the paint and kick out. And you see Kevin Knox doing a lot of that in this video clips. And I think he can be very special at this area, especially the more they utilize him, the more usage rates they give him. He can definitely develop into a decent decision maker. They got Porzingis. He's going to stretch out that floor, and he's going to dive on that pick and roll. And he's going to give you some space in that area to either get to the basket or even just shoot a spot up three. Or sometimes he can roll to the basket and give you a layup or a dunk, or sometimes an alley-oop. So Kevin Knox, so young, so raw, has the body, has everything you want in a player, and the fact that he can shoot and possibly be a defender that can switch on twos, that can switch on threes, that can guard fours when he bulk up and get some more strength to that body, because he is a little frail and a little thin, so them fours are a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. And if he does switch, they're gonna post him up. It's still gonna be hard because Kevin Knox do have that wingspan and that length. So it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy to get closer to the basket, but it's gonna be still a tough finish to finish old Kevin Knox because of that length and that jumping ability, that vertical ability. So I like Kevin Knox. He's one of my favorite rookies in this draft class. I had to make this my first video because I ended up watching him play a lot when I was at Summer League, and he didn't shoot the ball well, and that's what I was trying to tell you guys. It could be a little misleading, and his field goal percentage did tell you that he wasn't the best shooter in Summer League, but it was in the bunches. He didn't get as many touches as I thought he would get, especially that he was one of the better players in Summer League on both sides of the court, no matter what team it was. But I definitely think if they can really focus on certain focus on certain areas of his game per season, just besides bulking up, because that's going to be the number one thing he's going to have to do at that 3 and 4 position is getting the strength and that muscle in. But I think if they can really work on his mechanics and get him a quicker release, I'm not saying Clay got to be Clay or Steph, but he's going to have to be able to get that ball up. And when he holding it down and then going up, it can allow people to catch up and make the shot a little bit tougher as he's releasing it, because the defenders will be able to, as you've seen in the clips, be able to contest them a lot more. But that's something that all shooters got to learn as they go in the NBA, is trying to get that shot off clean without getting blocked, or trying to get that shot off before they cover your eyes with their hands. And he's gonna have to be able to knock down those shots too. But I'm not really expecting him to do that in his rookie season. But another thing is his defense. A lot of guys were a little overrated his defense. I like the fact that he can close out. I think he should definitely work on trying to block jumpers, not crashing into people just once you see them releasing the ball, just trying to get up there and try to get a block on the shot. Because once the ball is released, you don't have to put a hand over their face because the ball is already gone. So why not use that length and that size and that ability to cover ground on trying to actually block that shot, kind of like what AD did in college, and he does a little bit in the NBA. If you're going to rotate over and they're not going to release it quick, or they think about it, just try to go for the block at the peak of the shot. And if he does that, he can be very dangerous. We've seen Dwayne Wade at 6'4" get a lot of blocks on layups and jumpers. If he can do it, Kevin Knox is more quicker, more athletic, and more lankier. He should be able to block a lot of layups and block a lot of shots. We even seen Kevin Durant become a better shot blocker over these last couple years at his size and his athleticism. And if they can put the work in, if they can study the film, if they can go out there and see what they can improve at, why can't Kevin Knox? But I won't, as a guy that went not top 10 in the draft, you got to heap a little pressure off of him and let him develop a little bit. I seen the same thing with Lonzo Ball. A lot of people was calling him a buzz. I told y'all about the same thing even with Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz comes in the NBA. He has a bad season, and everybody jumps off the bandwagon. The guy is 18. He'll be 19. He's going to take some time to be good. He has to learn the physicality. He has to learn what shots he can get away with. Even the floater, I think that'd be a good shot, but he has to learn how to create his own shot more than what people think, especially in New York. They do have some solid shooters around him, but as he gets older, he is going to definitely work on that ball handling, and I'm glad that he does see it as a glaring hole, because when you tall, like I am, I'm a tall guy, you have to dribble the ball and it drops and stuff like that. So it's harder to be quick. It's harder to do the crossovers without dropping the ball so far down. And we see Kevin Durant and them fall into a lot of turnovers like that. Even like DeMarcus Cousins, he got reckless with it and he turns the ball over like crazy. So that's something that he's really going to have to develop, because if he wants to get those mid-range pull-ups, if he wants to get to the basket more against elite athletes and starters like Kawhi Leonard, like LeBron, like KD, or even the forwards, a lot of the forwards are being able to, handle the ball a little bit too. So he's definitely going to have to work on that ball handling ability if he wants to be a 20-point scorer, and if he wants to get to the free throw line where he can get easy baskets at the free throw line. So the easier baskets, he definitely going to have to work on his handling. You ain't going to be able to come off screens and do whatever you want when people scouting against you and people are preparing for you. So he's going to have to come off those screens. If he don't have the jump shot, he either is going to have to give up that basketball, or he's going to have to try to get to that free throw line or get to the basket, get a dunk, get a layup. I prefer the dunk because he can jump off and get to that spot quickly because of his length and size. So he should be able to come off that screen and just drop and just go straight up like you seen in a lot of this footage, or even just get that one step off the top of the key and just try to cradle the ball or just go up for a dunk in general, depending on who's in the paint. So at the end of the day, Kevin Knox is a great prospect. He has a lot of ability to be a mismatch type of guy. We always talk about the combo guards. He's a guy that can definitely play that 3 or that 4 position. Maybe he's not done growing yet until he's 21. Maybe even some small ball 5. And that gives him more versatility. The more versatility you have, the more ability you have to stand in the league, because they're going to say, oh, he can shoot, he can handle the ball, he can guard multiple positions, and that gives you longevity in the league. So that's something that he should definitely be considering as he gets older and as he develops his body, is being as versatile as he can, because that's going to make you stay a starter and that's going to keep you in the league. But I think the biggest keys for him is staying focused defensively, using that length as much as he can, whether it's offensively and defensively, and just continuing to work on his ball handling, because he's not going to be an excellent passer out of the gate. We seen that even with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they became better passers. Even with Kevin Durant, as they start progressing and the game started slowing down and they started understanding how teams are guarding them, and they started understanding what they could get away with, what they couldn't, and guys' tendencies. You read about it, you hear it from the scout, but when you actually on the court and you're actually watching these guys, you actually know how it really is until it's really happening. It's easy to get scout and watch footage, but you still got to be in the game so you can figure out, okay, now I know how to stop it, now I know how to guard it, now I know how he gets it off, because I feel it physically and I see it, and mentally I'm watching it right now with my vision. Now I really know how to prepare against it, that now that I played against the person, and now I know what my scout is talking about. So at the end of the day, this could be either a huge reward for the New York Knicks, or this could be a huge flat-footed bust. Some people say he can be good as Paul George, which is an all-star and an all-NBA player. Some people said he can be a Wesley Johnson. I'm not one of those people, but if he's a Wesley Johnson, honestly, he was able to stay in the NBA for a long time. He became a solid player, but to me, he's a bust, because he had a lot of potential and he never even became an all-star, never even became an all-star for 1 year. He's been basically a rotational bench player, and that's what Kevin Knox I don't want to see. But if he can be a Paul George, it's going to take some years. Remember, it took years for Kawhi Leonard to develop. It took years for Paul George to develop. Even like a Jimmy Butler and a DeMar DeRozan, they became better playmakers and scorers as the game slowed down, and they was able to put in that work, and they was able to scout, and then they was able to slow the game down and make the game come to them, where they're playing at their pace, they're getting the shots they want, and he wants those floaters, he wants to finish in the paint, he wants those come off the screen threes and them handoff jumpers. He's going to have to be quicker on those releases. He's going to have to want it even more coming off them screens. He got to be aggressive and go right up into his shot, whether it's the 2 or the 3, if he wants to get those clean looks. And that's going to be hard work too, because you got to be conditioned, because you're going to have to guard. You're going to basically have to play defense, and you're going to have to focus on running through screens for 35 to 40 minutes, depending on how much minutes he get in the future. Plus, you got to have the legs to knock down that jumper in those threes. So it's going to be tough. This is no longer let's have fun or let's go outside and hoop. This is your job. Your job is to get better at basketball and to figure out a way to stay in there so you can eat. So it's no longer Kevin Knox is good. He's prospect. He's going to be good. The NBA will get rid of you quick, and if you're good enough to stay, you got to be great enough to stay in it, because they can replace you. We see it with the G League, we seeing it with Summer League, we seeing it with the overseas play. We seeing players coming out in the draft. We're seeing potentially that they're going to let high school people coming in. So you got to really be busting your ass and really working hard if you really truly want to stay in the NBA nowadays, because there's just so much excess and ability to see the talent right now that you can get replaced just like that. Go on Real GM. There's always somebody getting waived every day. 1 or 2 to 3 to 4 players are getting waived every single day by teams. People are getting called up every single day by teams. So this is a job. He has to really put the work in. He has to really want it, and he got to strive for greatness. If he's able to do that, he would be having unlimited potential with that type of body, that type of frame, and the ability that he still can grow, and his jump shot still can improve. His handle can improve significantly. His decision making can improve significantly. So I definitely see why people wanted him to go higher. I definitely see why he went in the top 10, and I see why Jerry West should have tried to get him if he would have dropped to 12 or 13. So I see all of it. But Wesley Johnson, don't be that guy. I'm Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think about the video. And at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think about Kevin Knox. My website will be in the description in the comment section below. Click the link. It's into my website. Also, my Facebook page will be in the description in the comment section below. Click the link. It's into my Facebook page. Like on my Facebook page to show support. My t-shirts are also on my Facebook page. If you want to see how they look before you buy them, you can definitely check that out on analysisplayground.com. Link in the description comment section below. And I'm gone. Will he be a bust? Will he be a star? We don't know until he plays.